Hello friends. Well, it's been a difficult week. I contracted COVID last week and all of my plans to catch up on gardening got lost. I've been able to keep some things up. Usually I water these guys every day. This is my basil pot. It was a very difficult thing to get started. The basil in the top would not grow, and I don't know why, but the basil around the sides did better. So it's coming up. I kind of hope to be able to bring that indoors during the winter, but every time I try to do things like that, they freak out with a lack of sun and then go and die. Just getting my water on some roses here. These zinnias have seen visits from butterflies and hummingbirds this week. It's been very exciting. I have to keep pulling this vine that chokes everything in its path. It makes me sad because it is a pretty vine. It has pretty blue flowers, but it's related to the morning glory, and it will absolutely murder everything given the chance. So, and then we've got our knockout roses, just doing fantastic. Got a storm coming in too. It's really beautiful. But what I want to show you is the fig trees, because we have had great success with the figs the last few years. Now, these trees are, I believe, brown turkey figs, and they were planted before I came here. But it's commonly sold in box stores. And they had died all the way down to the ground and were just tree stumps, dead tree logs, basically, the first year that I was here. And then the next year I noticed they were coming back. So now they're about 5 years old, and we're getting figs out the wazoo. You can see there's all kind of immature figs in here still. They mature a little at a time. Oh man, they're so tasty. But we discovered that if you don't come out and pick them every day, first of all, they ripen quickly and they quickly go to rot. And if you don't pick them, they get eaten by wildlife. Raccoons, we think, possibly possums, but the way that they would have to climb up to get to them, it's more likely to be raccoons. Fig leaves, very beautiful. Every year I fail to clean out around, and then I have to like stomp the greenery down. And this year we've got poison ivy coming up around this tree. We had some around the base of this tree also. But I was able to stomp it out with my shoes, not these shoes, not those, but my garden shoes that are old running shoes. So yeah, you gotta climb in and around, and I end up pulling the branches to get them closer to me. The branches are very flexible, so the ones that are up high. Now this last year I had to cut this one because it was a good 15 feet high, and that was too high for me to get to. But you can really get a lot of flexibility out of these guys. Pull them all the way over. Sometimes all all I can manage to do is get hold of one leaf and then one branch, and then get hold of the branch and pull it from a long ways away to get hold of the figs. The other fun thing is we have been drying the figs in the front of the car, and that has allowed us to preserve them. So I've got a bucket or a container, a good sized container now of dried figs, and you know, when they dry, they reduce to about maybe 1/4 the size that they normally are. But literally, I just put them. There's good kitty. There's good kitty. Literally, I just put them into a tray in the top, in the dashboard of my car, like I did with the mint and the other herbs. I put those in yesterday. I'll leave them another 24 hours, and then they'll be super dry. Now these guys were smaller to begin with because the last couple weeks the weather has been dry. I know there's a thunderstorm coming in right now, but before that we had loads of rain for a couple of weeks. The figs coming off the tree were enormous and very watery. So they were just swollen with the water. So when I put them on the tray, they sort of melted and leaked a lot of juice, which turned into almost like a fruit leather. At first I thought it was going to be awful, but I think it's almost like a dried sauce. And these guys were smaller because we've had less rain recently. So they have not done that at all. And they're drying really nicely. I had fallen behind on the garden, and I'm still behind. I had to take a week off of everything because of that COVID. And I only had a mild case, and it was still pretty awful. It's been too long since I'd gotten any of the vaccines, so because the last one I got was November last year. And it just left me vulnerable, I guess. I had started taking elderberries, which came off that shrub right over there, and that seems to have kind of kicked it faster than some people have had it. So that was good. The other news is my squash plants are doing fairly well, but I noticed these guys, this vine over here had wilted. When I came out and checked, it was covered in leaf-footed bugs. So I sprayed it with soapy water. And I guess the leaves might not like the soapy water either. But I had a leaf. Oh, I have another leaf with eggs on it. Look at that. Those eggs. So I'm gonna have to get the clippers and take that leaf off. But I don't know how much it really matters because I do not have a single fruit on this vine. I've got loads of flowers, 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 flowers. No fruit. It's been flowering for weeks. I know that there's a way to marry the flowers, and I even watched a video, but I have not done that yet. And now I notice that like the vine is yellowing, and it did not look like this yesterday. I really wonder if the soapy, I can't imagine soapy water would hurt leaves, but they were not on that part of the vine. They were only here, and those are the leaves that I sprayed. I wonder, I've never heard of soapy water hurting leaves, but it looks like it did. But still, the bugs were doing a lot of damage, and now it looks like the vine is doing well. And I did notice some more of the bugs over here when I came to spray with the soapy water, just soap. They flew away. Oh, I think there's one now. So I'll need to go get the soap after it rains and spray this guy down too. Yeah, see there's more. There's one on that flower over there. See if I can get closer to it. That's one of the, there's a stink bug, also very dangerous, squash bug. And yeah, that's one of the juveniles. You can see the orange bug there. That's a juvenile leaf-footed bug. And they will bite the vines and sap juice out of it. Yeah, see there's several there. Well, I might not even wait for the rain. I might just come back out here and give them a good squirt. But here's the garden. It's so overgrown. I feel a little despondent because I was just starting to get back to work on weeding and harvesting, and then I got sick. I have been able to harvest a lot of the inky, a lot of the fruit from inky. Here's my in the ground basil. It's doing pretty nicely. It is getting a little turned up with the heat and the dry. And buckwheat looks like it's about ready to harvest. Oh, we've got a couple of tomatoes. Literally 2. I'm saving some of the seeds from this guy to use next year. Excuse me. And our amaranth is doing really nicely. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. I used some of the leaves, the little leaves in soup the other day. I used the amaranth and some chives and garlic flower that I had harvested a while back. So yeah, it's all gone wild, but it's still got its own beauty. And I'm very happy to say that the strawberry ziggurat is recovering. Those guys had been lost in the weeds, and they're coming back. Some of the transplants I've made it, and some didn't. There's one that did not. It's all right. The daughters will repopulate for next year. Let's see, I've got another one there that's doing good, and there's several over here that are doing well. So, all right, that's what's going on in the garden. I hope you all are well. The elderberry tea every day definitely helped me a lot with the COVID. So if you've got elderberries, I had a half a gallon of them in my freezer, and helped a great deal. Look at this guy. He's as tall as me now, so we'll have flowers from him soon. All right, be well.